In a city not used to winter, this has been a slog.
It's terrible. Yeah.
What the soggy, chilly people waiting for the number 9 bus don't know is their driver is pumped for this.
Just trying to get people safely to where they have to go. The first thing I did when I looked out of the window was look outside my curtains to see that this was happening because I was waiting for it. And I was excited. I love this. I love it.
With icy rain falling, the message across BC, leave the driving to the professionals.
Traffic's been very light. Thankfully, people have been listening and mostly staying home.
2 main bridges into Vancouver closed because of concerns dangerous ice could fall on vehicles.
We want to make sure that there's no risk to the traveling public underneath when they're driving underneath these structures.
Please try to find alternate means of transportation.
Ice halted the SkyTrain, and travel by sea is also tough.
She said I might be on the 3 o'clock, hopefully. If not, I'll just keep waiting.
Yeah, it's been over an hour already.
Really?
But we were booked to be on the 9 o'clock this morning, which I was astonished BC Ferries actually gave me a phone call last night to tell me the sailing was cancelled.
Frozen pipes and staff unable to get to work meant some ferries couldn't sail.
I know the rest of the country is used to snow and freezing rain. Out here on the West Coast, not so much.
It's weird, but it's beautiful.
The Christmas forecast is a switch from white to wet, and that brings new risks, potential flooding. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Things aren't much better in BC's Fraser Valley. Some areas are seeing the coldest temperatures in decades, and freezing rain is grinding travel plans to a halt. This all has Environment Canada warning of more unpredictable weather ahead. Here's Benit Brach on how people are coping.
With slippery streets and frozen fields, people in BC's Fraser Valley are hunkering down after being warned to stay off the roads. But Karen Young had no choice. She had to make it to her chemo treatment.
Oh my goodness, I don't drive in the snow, especially this much snow.
Thankfully, volunteers like Mel Bueller and his brother are braving the weather to help.
I'm glad I can do that sort of thing for them. I know they're going through a lot.
And with a rough weekend expected, things won't get any easier for anyone in the valley.
The Fraser Valley is a lot more prone to receiving freezing rain. It certainly has happened before, but anytime it does happen, it is quite a dangerous situation.
And it's expected to last through Christmas Eve. In the face of that, BC Transit is taking no chances and suspending all services. So bus stops are empty. While at the Abbotsford Airport, it's cancellations across the board.
We were trying to leave Seattle this morning, but they shut everything down there, so now we're trying to get back home just outside of Calgary.
I will sleep here until they send a new message.
I've made it my official office headquarters, trying to get a work day in.
Meanwhile, farmers worried about their livestock are going the extra mile to make sure they're safe and secure.
Rather than doing all the things to prepare for Christmas, really, we're out spending all of our time in our barns with our animals, making sure they're comfortable, fed, have access to water.
Sarah Sash was determined to be ready.
We purchased extra diesel to have on the farm to run our generator. We do our own snow blowing, so we are prepared to get the milk truck in and out because food security is a priority as well in the province.
Now, Abbotsford hasn't been this cold in over 50 years, but with temperatures expected to climb this weekend, Environment Canada warns the freezing rain situation could be hard to predict and says people across the Fraser Valley should watch their local weather forecasts closely. Benit Brach, CBC News, Abbotsford.
It's clear this weather really stretches coast to coast, and as we've said, it's going to stretch right into the holiday weekend. Senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff takes us through what you can expect when.
Well, unfortunately for many Canadians, conditions are going to get worse before they get better over the next 24 hours. Let's start off with that massive storm system just crawling through Ontario. Those northwesterly winds will continue to bring extensive blizzard conditions to densely populated areas through the overnight and into Saturday morning. And Saturday morning is really when those northwesterly winds kick in, racing past 90 kilometers per hour. So even as the snow ends tomorrow afternoon for southern Ontario, tomorrow evening for southern Quebec, 90 kilometer per hour winds may bring power outages and reduced visibility with that blowing snow. Notice Atlantic Canada, it's rain you're getting tonight, but that will change over to snow. It's not as powerful storm by the time it hits the East Coast, but rapidly changing weather conditions for you. Much improved for The eastern half of the country, though, by early next week, even by Christmas Day. Out here on the west coast, we're finally seeing this system fall as rain. The concern is that areas in the Fraser Valley might still see freezing rain through the overnight, but by tomorrow afternoon, the great melt is on for the south coast, and we are worried about localized flooding as our dense snowpack sees plus 8 to 10 degree temperatures. But again, by Christmas Day into Monday, much calmer conditions for the west coast as well. Johanna Wagstaff, CBC News, North Vancouver.